Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Ralph Sexton, and I want to welcome you to another Restore the Landmarks telecast. With me today is Dr. Greg Lynch. Brother Greg, what a joy to welcome you today.
Thank you, my
and
friend.
We're interrupting the regular programming because of what has happened in Mississippi, an unbelievable outbreak, heartache,
Oh, yes.
death, and destruction. And I think already we've got people on the ground.
We do, and you think about a F4, F5, 100-mile track, and
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable destruction. One little community, Rolling Fork, Mississippi, everything's gone. I mean,
The
down
city.
to the slab, the whole city, the businesses, the hospital, everything they had's totally gone. And so that's one of the areas we're focusing in on, Silver City. All of these little communities
Right.
are not large mass people, but it's the peoples that's been affected by the tornado and what happened. So
Earlier in the week, I talked with Pastor Ronnie Bearfield at Ripley, Mississippi, and he was telling me that it was south of them, and the main hit was down in the Delta area of the state. I started with him because I was just there in revival in Mississippi, and we have friends and pastors and churches, Christian schools that have all been affected by this, and the death toll has been unbelievable. And I heard a report the other day. They said they had warning, they had advanced warning, and they went to their safe place. But the storm was so powerful that it destroyed the safe place. It's hard to believe, Brother Greg.
I mean, it's unimaginable, really, when you think about how they even survive. When you see the pictures and you see the destruction and you see, you know, just the debris everywhere, and then, you know, to hear of all of the children that's, you know, passed away because of families that have been uprooted, all of those things. So that's why it's so important. And you have been such a help and a blessing to Hearts with Hands 30 years ago. It's hard to believe.
30 years ago. It's our anniversary year.
Anniversary year. And you and Musette got your heads together, hearts together, started Hearts with Hands in 1992, and now to see it continue to flourish and go forward, and us to continue that same vision and burden that was on your heart at the beginning, and now going into these same communities to help them and make a difference.
Yeah, the original storm that provoked us to do this was Homestead, Florida, Hurricane Andrew. And the reason it got my attention was there wasn't anything there but a slab.
Yep.
The malls were gone. The stores were gone. The banks were gone. The vault would be sitting there. That was fascinating, the big vault. But the bank around it was gone.
Everything's gone.
And so every afternoon, because of the tropical climate, it would rain, and the food that was coming out of Miami and Dade County being donated, they'd have to dig a sand pit and bury it the next morning because it was soured and was being thrown away. And I said, well, I may not can fix the heartache in all the buildings, but we can put a roof up for them.
Yes.
And we took the old gospel tent down there, put a roof on the football field, and that's what we're still doing today.
Yep.
And we just got you home from Turkey, where you took the gospel tent, and we gave it away again.
Gave it away and set it up.
Set it up. It's up in Antioch.
Yeah, old Antioch. And you think thousands of people are being helped every day there, and supplies are on their way from Hearts with Hands, and to see, you know, the blessing of being able to help that, and then this hits us right on top of that.
And with all of our supplies loaded on trucks going to Turkey, then we get blindsided here.
Yes.
So we're appealing to our friends. And Heather Everett down in Greensboro, North Carolina, who does our production for our ministry, she drove all the way to Asheville to make this happen for us. We're interrupting our regular programming. We want to make a special for Hearts with Hands. We want to thank you. Would you take just a moment and text a friend, say you need to turn in and watch Hearts with Hands and Ralph Sexton with Brother Greg Lentz right now, and maybe let someone in your missions committee, maybe someone, a CFO in your business, people are wanting to know how to help, what to do, and you're going to be able to tell them a little bit. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to go to Mississippi, and we're going to show you some footage. This tornado that came through and did so much damage, it was on the ground for 70 minutes, an hour and 10 minutes. 3/4 of a mile wide, and it never lifted up for 59 miles.
Yes.
Never lifted up. A path of death, destruction, and devastation. Let's go take a look-see. I want you to pray about what you could do today, and then we'll be right back.
Thank you so much for letting us join you on the program today. And I know when you're watching the footage that we were just showing you, it's unbelievable the devastation that happened through the tornado there in Mississippi. Hearts with Hands is on the ground. We sent the first 2 tractor trailer loads and got that down to Grenada, Mississippi, Emmanuel Baptist Church. And they've got a brand new warehouse there, and they're partnering with Hearts with Hands. We were able to get it there, and now we're taking the supplies with trucks and trailers. Remember, it's hard to get into some of those areas because of the debris, the damage, the roads, the bridges, all of those things being damaged through the tornadoes. And so now we're taking it in, going into these communities that were so devastated and so affected. Your part in that plays a big role. Without your partnership, we can't go and be the hands. We've got to have your heart. We've got to have your help. We've got to have your support to be able to be the hands and feet of Jesus as we're on the ground. And so it's a great way that we can all partner together. You may not can go, but you can give. So what can I do? There's several ways that you can do that. You can go to heartswithhands.org, and immediately you can give online. You can always call the office. All of that information is on the website, heartswithhands.org. And then if your church would like to do a drive for supplies, there's a list on the website also that you can begin to collect supplies and begin to get that to us there at the office here in Asheville, North Carolina. So it's ways that we can all partner together. Main thing we need you to do is pray for the folks, pray for the teams that are there, pray for the folks that are on the ground, that God will protect them and use them. And then now that we've got them on the ground, now we're dispersing all of these materials. You think of this, over 80,000 pounds of food and supplies that went down into Mississippi. And this is just our first few loads, and it was a miracle how the Lord worked it out. We got it that day, and they picked it up that day, and the next morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, it was there at the church. They were unloading, putting it in the trucks, and now they are on the road going into these communities, being a blessing to them. It's a great way that we can be a witness. Every one of those food boxes has a John and Romans in it. What a way to help a family. What a way to encourage a family. What a way to be able to help them in times of distress and disaster like they're going through. So your partnership with Hearts with Hands always makes a difference in helping the lives of so many. Thousands of people will be influenced. Thousands of people will be helped because of your gift today. So pray about it, do your very best, and that helps us to be able to continue to send supplies into this devastated area and be a blessing to them. Now we're going to show you some footage of being on the ground, some of the pictures of them going from house to house and place to place and community to community, so that way you can be encouraged that your dollars are going straight to where it needs to go, and that is to help the people of Mississippi. Now let's go to that footage for a moment.
Well, thank you again for being with us today, and it is really my honor to have Brother Greg Lentz with us. His hard work, faithful service to the Lord, his wife and family, they are partners, and Elise, your daughter, she has stepped up to the plate, just done a great job at the warehouse. And I watched her the other day. A couple of the private schools had students in there, and then one of the public schools. And she just takes right over, and those kids follow her like a Pied Piper.
Yep.
They were loading boxes everywhere.
And, you know, even going and representing Hearts with Hands,
Yep.
she's able to do that on some of the Sundays that I can't be there. And so she's just phenomenal in helping us.
She is.
I love all of our family being there together, and
Right.
then, you know, being at church together and working and laboring together. It just makes all the difference in the world. So,
Her and her husband were on the road last Sunday for Hearts with Hands.
yes. So,
And I was talking to her earlier in the day before the service. And I just thank God she takes after her mama.
I know, that's for
man.
sure. That's for sure.
But,
that is for sure. So,
But it's a wonderful time for us to share with our friends here on this occasion of sadness and devastation that there is hope.
Yes.
And that's the whole purpose of Hearts with Hands. The logo that's on the shirt here that Brother Greg's wearing is a heart and there's a hand. And when we were praying about how to help Homestead, Florida, and I came back from my first trip down, I told Musette, I said, we need a name, because if we just make it one church, it limits even corporate givers. And Quaker Oats wanted to give me, I remember, 4 tractor and trailer loads of Gatorade, but they had to give it to an umbrella organization, not just a church.
Right.
And so we went back and forth, and she said, well, that touched your heart, didn't it? And I said, it did. And I said, and I got down there and got my hands in it, and we went back and forth, and she said, well, what about Hearts with Hands?
Yes.
And I said, I like that.
Yes.
And so that's what we've done all these years. We're praying for God to touch your heart and send our hands to help. And today it's Mississippi. But I was thinking earlier when you talked about the beginning, how humble it was, is actually the tractors and trailers were tent ministry. Mm-hmm. And we had the tent in them, and we took chairs out of one tent trailer, put food in it, and we went to Homestead, Florida. But now God's blessed. We've got tractors and trailers at the warehouse, and we've got bobcats and front loaders, and tell a little bit about some of the equipment God's blessed lately that we can not only do food distribution, but we can actually help with there. And then the beautiful new food truck is phenomenal.
Oh, it is. And you think about, like you said at the beginning, and we still have it, 1996 Freightliner box truck, and it's still faithful. It still goes. And so a couple years ago, the Lord allowed us to buy a brand new box truck for the long trips.
Right.
Because a lot of the storms may be hours away,
right,
just like Mississippi is. And to take an old straight drive that won't go past 55 and beat you to death going down the highway for your volunteer drivers. So we wanted to get them something better. So the Lord allowed us to get us a brand new box truck, and that's automatic, able to go down the road, do long distance trips. And then we've got the brand new food trailer that we were able to get and pay for during COVID.
That was unbelievable.
That's a miracle.
A miracle.
And so we raised the money. God blessed us and helped us. And you think of this, just last year in Hurricane Ian, in Fort Myers, Naples, Florida, all of that, we served 14,000 meals out of that.
Say that again?
14,000 meals out of that. That's helping the rescue workers. That's helping the relief workers. That's helping families.
Right.
And one of the things we were able to do there that was so unreal, some of your pastor friends that were there in Fort Myers and Cape Coral and all of that lost everything.
They lost everything.
Lost everything they had.
Our good friend Tom Sexton.
Right. And so we were able, what was such a joy, able to call him up and say, when you meet on Wednesday night, we're coming with a meal for your whole church. And they got out there in the parking lot because they couldn't meet in their building.
No.
And I took food boxes that they could take home with them, but I brought them a hot meal too.
Amen.
And tried to be an encouragement and love on them. And so it gives us a twofold thing that we can do and be an encouragement.
Brother Greg, when you say food truck, a lot of people are thinking about one of these food trucks up here in the city square. That's not the food truck we're talking about.
No.
That's a panel truck. Tell them a little bit about this truck. It's state of the art, how big it is, and it even has another room, I guess you could call it, with a canopy that comes out that seats almost 100, I believe.
Yes.
Just under the canopy.
Oh, it's unreal. So this mobile kitchen is what we call it, is a 53-foot Featherlight double-decker because it's got the NASCAR set up on the top, and it's got the big lift gate, elevator lift gate, and so everything is stored up top, and then the whole underneath carriage where you're working at, a 20-foot walk-in cooler, bigger than most restaurants have. It's got deep fryers, it's got tilt skillets, it's got convection ovens, sham Warman ovens, 6-burner top, all of those things.
It's state of the art.
State of the art, all the stainless steel equipment. And God's just helped us to get that. And it's been such a phenomenal blessing. and being able to help people like this. And so when you take that, and then we've got 2 large awnings that go the entire length, 53 foot by 25 foot on each side. So that gives you 50 by basically 50 by 50 space that I can prep the food, I can package the food, I can get it out the door, and then on the other side, I can still do our distribution. I can still feed folks from it on the other side of it.
It's amazing.
And so when they come through, all of the supplies are underneath. When it rains, you don't have to worry about the supplies getting wet. It's all under the canvas. It's all under protection. And so it's been such a help and such a blessing. And it's literally a walking and living billboard as it comes down the road because the height of it and how tall it is. But they did a phenomenal job designing this piece of equipment, and it has been a phenomenal attachment to Hearts with Hands.
It has been.
Being able to help so many people.
Well, I think one of the pictures on the website when they go to heartswithhands.org is there'll be a picture of our first responder truck, the dually. Then there'll be a dually and a trailer, and then there'll be one of our box trucks, and then there'll be tractors and trailers.
Yes.
I mean, God has given equipment that we can go and be a part. And I want you to stand with us today and help. Mississippi's hurting, and you can help us. And your gift today will go to buy food and to buy tarps and to buy supplies. Now, some of their homes, there's nothing to tarp. It's all destroyed.
Gone.
But around that, the most devastated area you see, all around that for miles are homes that are partially damaged. And we want to help them as well. And so you can stand with us today. Your church, your civic group, your business, your boy or Girl Scout troop, you can have a project, you can collect food, you can give money, and we'll come and pick it up from your church or your business, and you can get all the details. We always have a list on the website of what we need, what's current. And Brother Greg, tell them how they can give today.
So there's several ways you can do that today. And again, we just want to say thank you. You can go to heartswithhands.org, and you can take your bank card, credit card, whatever you have, and you can give online. You can also do online as well through another source of giving that is protected, PayPal and other sources that are there. You can always call the office at 828-667-1912, or if you're one of those that's the old-fashioned check writers then you can go and write a check, and that's P.O. Box 6444, Asheville, North Carolina, 28816. So again, do your very best. That helps us to continue to help the people there in Mississippi and be a blessing to them. You think of all the families that's distraught, all the churches that's distraught, all the individuals. And so that little box that we go in with to start with is called the box of hope. Why? Because I've eat out of that. In Turkey, guess what we did the whole time? We eat out of that box of hope the entire time we were there working in Turkey. There wasn't a McDonald's. There wasn't restaurants. They don't have them, just like you don't in foreign countries, because
you were eating out of the very food that they were eating out of.
Yes, and everything was destroyed. So it's a blessing. It's got water, it's got juice, it's got protein, it's got snack items, breakfast items, all of that, over 18 different items in that one box. And it costs $25 a box to put that together. And there's 100 of those on a pallet. So a church may want to take in consideration, I want to do a pallet, or I want to do 2 pallets. And that's a great way that you can partner with us, that way we can continue to build boxes, continue to get those into these affected areas, and continue to make a difference in so many lives.
Now that's a box of hope if they've been there a day or two, and then will they come by for a family box?
And then
that keeps them for 4 days, is that right?
Yes, so you got your up front, because they have no power, everything's pop top. Then once they start making the transition, then there's can openers in there, and then there's regular vegetables and beans and corn and potatoes and all of those things that's in that box, and that's for an entire family for about a week. So,
and I noticed when we were out there packing the other day, we're actually putting paper plates in there. Paper towels in there. Because they've lost everything.
And then we do the hygiene kits.
That's another box.
Another whole separate entity and item. And you think about, they lost their toothbrush, their toothpaste, their deodorant. all the essentials we take for granted is gone. It's been blown in the wind.
Well, part of what Hearts with Hands does is we compartmentalize the media way to help so that people can see it. A box of hope, well, then it's easy to show to the media that
Yes.
we got them for that day.
Yes.
And then the family boxes, and then the hygiene boxes. And then if we're on site a long time, then we actually have maternity boxes with
Yes.
baby care and for the mamas. And so you can help today. That's all we're saying. We've tried to pray, plan, and prepare, but we have to have your help to bring it to the very point of buying it and putting it on a truck and getting it to the people. You join with us today. We're going to let you go see a few more moments of different sites there in Mississippi. Maybe you would take time to call the 800 number, maybe go hunt your checkbook and write a check today, give a gift and send it in. And may God touch your heart and send our hands to go help. Thank you so much for being with us today, and I trust the program has been a blessing to you in the sense that all of us can do something. That's one of the joyful things about being a Bible believer, about being a Christian. The Word of God says for us to be salt and to be light. Light is the salvation part, sharing our faith in the love of the Lord Jesus Christ. And the salt is that we help our fellow man, that we are contributing to those around us by keeping the culture and by keeping the things of the Lord and the local church and the heritage. And then part of that mixture that God put in all of us is that we help one another, the golden rule, that we do unto others as we would have them do unto us. And you're a part of all of that ministry, reaching out together. And if God touched your heart today, please send our hands to help. Thank you for praying. Thank you for being a part. The address will be on your screen. The phone number will be on your screen. And we'll look forward to being with you again next time. Thank you for partnering with Ralph Sexton Ministries and all that we're doing to take the gospel to America and to reach the world with the love of Christ.